Hello everyone and welcome back to War Thunder with Juppis. This year marks the 100th anniversary of Finnish independence, that is, my home country. To celebrate this occasion, I thought it would be cool to take a look at some of the vehicles in War Thunder that have been used by the Finnish defense forces during and after the Second World War. I've been digging through various books and sites to find information about their use and the people who used them. I'll start this series with aircraft and hopefully later I can cover the ground vehicles too. Anyway, let's get started. The first aircraft that we'll take a look at is the British Gloster Gladiator biplane fighter. Here in War Thunder it sits at rank 1 in the British Tech tree with a battle rating of 1.3. There are actually 5 different Gladiators in the game. I have the Gladiator Mark II's gift plane along with the Tech 3 aircraft. There's also another gift version and there's this Robert Stanford Tux premium one. All of these are pretty much identical in every way except the Sea Gladiator, which can operate from carriers. Personally, I kind of like the Gladiator. It's a very nimble plane and its armament is pretty okay at this battle rating. Though battle rating 2.0 or 2.3 enemies like the BF-109 or the Lags can be really hard to beat. But anyway, let's talk about the history of the plane and how it ended up in Finland. The Gladiator came to use with the Royal Air Force in 1937 and it was already obsolete by that time. Monoplane fighters with retractable landing gear were being developed all over the world at that time. As a result, the UK was willing to sell 30 Gladiator Mark IIs for Finland in December of 1939, when the Winter War was in full swing. At the start of the war, the Finns had only 119 aircraft altogether, 46 of which were fighters in the form of Fokker D-21. In comparison, the Soviet Air Force had over 2,300 aircraft. The Finns were willing to buy almost anything that flew, and that included this outdated biplane. 20 aircraft were bought by the Finns, and the 10 others were given for free by the British. They were first shipped to Sweden in crates, assembled there, and then flown to Finland by Finnish pilots. The first batch arrived on January 18th and the latter one on the 16th of February. The planes were given serial numbers GL 251 to 280, GL short for Gladiator. The Finnish Gladiators had standard British equipment just as they have in here in War Thunder. The engine was the Bristol Mercury 9-cylinder radial engine with 840 horsepower and the armament was 4 .303 caliber or 7.7mm Browning machine guns, 2 of them in the hull and 2 in lower wing pods. The Finnish Air Force squadrons or lentolaivueet that used the Gladiators were lentolaivueet 26, 12 and 14th, with the 26th having most of the planes. The 26th was the first to see combat on 2nd of February 1940 when 1 Soviet SB bomber and 2 I-16 fighters were confirmed shot down for no losses to the Gladiators. Staff Sergeant Oiva Tuominen, who shot down the 2 I-16s, would become the most successful Finnish Gladiator pilot with 6 kills. By the end of the Winter War, the Gladiators had shot down 37 enemy aircraft for the loss of 14 of their own. 12 were lost in combat, 1 in an accident and 1 due to a technical fault. 6 pilots were killed. The darkest moment was on the 29th of February when I-16 and I-153 Chaika fighters attacked the airfield from where Finnish squadrons 24 and 26 were operating from. 6 Gladiators were shot down with 3 pilots killed, 1 Fokker D-21 was lost as well. 1 I-16 was shot down and 1 crashed in the forest during the combat. Finland was not the only user of Gladiators during the Winter War. On the 10th of January 1940, the voluntary Swedish squadron Flygflottilj 19 or Squadron 19 was formed. It had 12 Gladiators as well as 4 Hawker Hart light bombers. The aircraft remained Swedish Air Force property and they were flown by Swedish pilots but with Finnish markings. The Gladiators scored 8 victories in the air and destroyed 3 more aircraft on the ground. 6 Gladiators were lost, for which the Finnish government paid compensation. 3 Swedish pilots were killed and 2 became prisoners of war. When the Continuation War began in June 1941, the Finnish Gladiators had been relegated to reconnaissance duties. Lieutenant Strömberg of Squadron 16 claimed the only kill of the war, a Soviet Polikarpov R-5 reconnaissance plane, in February of 1943. By the end of the war in September 1944, 10 Gladiators had been lost, 4 in combat, with 3 pilots killed. The Gladiators were in use with the Air Force until February 1945. By that time only 4 planes were left. None of those planes are left today, though 1 Swedish Air Force Gladiator in Winter War markings is in a museum in Malmö, Sweden. Thank you for watching. My sources are in the description. Please like or dislike, comment and subscribe for future videos in the series. I'll see you on the next one.